Yo, what is good, YouTube? Welcome to the channel. If you're new to the channel, welcome. What I do here is mostly Tekken, so if you're actually going ahead and preparing yourself for Tekken 8, you know, this is definitely the time to do so. And by doing that, I mean by playing Tekken 7. So if you're new to the channel, welcome. And for people who are coming back to the channel, I really appreciate your patience. If y'all didn't know, I lost all of my data in Tekken 7. My game file was corrupted, and Lord and behold, I didn't realize that Tekken actually locally saved your files. So it's one thing, and I was like, oh, okay, my files were corrupted, but I didn't know my online rank was also saved locally. So yeah, I lost everything. I was at Fujin and I lost that, so hooray. I figured as I try to get back to that rank, I'm actually gonna go ahead and record these matches for you and hopefully teach you guys what to do and what not to do in this case in certain situations, because I know the majority of Tekken players, a bigger majority of Tekken players, are within these ranks, from the green ranks to the orange ranks and stuff, but especially the red ranks too. I know there's a good amount of people in red ranks as well before you get to the blue ranks. If you get to the blue ranks, probably not the video for you as far as like Fujin and such, you know. But maybe, who knows, maybe you could still learn something, right? Who knows? So I hope you guys do. So anyways, what we're gonna start off with is how do we deal with pressure from this guy, Hwoarang, right? And I'm not just regular technical pressure. This is more of a basic guide of the typical Hwoarang experience that a lot of people get, which is like this hurricane cluster of random kicks to the point where it's like you get frustrated. It's like, what do I block? How do I block it? When do I block it? And when is it my turn to attack and go on the offense, right? So and how to do that, you have to recognize that there are certain key moves that your character has that can create distance. One key factor in separating yourself from the aggression of Hwoarang is creating distance for yourself, right? And there's a lot of characters that have that move that can create that distance. So for Armor King, that my move to create distance for me is down forward 4, excuse me. Same with Dragunov. If you're a Dragunov player, down forward 4 creates a lot of distance, and he has long limbs. Same with Armor King, right? Another example is, I'm like, well, what if I'm off the top of my head, Zafina, right? That's the first character that came off the top of my head. Well, maybe you can go ahead and I think it's down 1+2, I think it is, her very, very low, high crushing low. She kind of swoops in like a snake. I forgot the name of the move, and I haven't played Zafina in a long time, right? Moves like that separate yourself and kind of check the opponent. You know, when I say check the opponent, again, it's a quick little it's like a kind of like a nip in the back to just kind of make sure your opponent keeps in check. And we're gonna see how we apply that here. So again, this is not a secret technique. This is not a one-size-fit-all situation where if you do this, you're gonna win every single Hwoarang match. No. However, if you do learn fundamentals, right, and if you do learn just key little points, it can get you pretty far. And we're gonna go ahead and actually see how we can apply that here. So immediately, it's a good thing to do is just immediately back up, right, and see what your character does. So immediately, I'm getting flustered by punches and kicks, right? So we're gonna go ahead and go back. That is not humanly possible. We're gonna go ahead and kind of just see that match start up again. So already I'm kind of in the defense because I'm like, all right, this dude is already doing something crazy, right? And you have to recognize that you're not gonna block all of his attacks. And if you get a round like this, I'm pretty sure I lose this first round. It's gonna happen. Don't beat yourself up over it. It's fine. It's gonna happen. You can't block them all. But what you can do is when you do block the right move, which is this guy right here, right, which is the armor or the power crush, his power crush, right? Understand that's -12, so whatever punish you have that's -12, use it. So in this case, when you do acknowledge and you actually see that it's your turn finally, right? When you do get that moment just like this is when now you got to keep that pressure back on him. Or if you want to kind of pace yourself out instead, that's also your time to create space. So for me as Armor King on Forbidden Temple, mind you, I'm gonna use that to my advantage. So I'm +7, and what am I gonna do now? And again, it's important if you're an Armor King player, understand what moves do what, especially in your environment. Right? I'm gonna do a Tombstone. And now if you are playing against Armor King, you have to keep 2, right? Right? Your triangle, 2, you gotta keep that on deck, because if you don't break that Tombstone, it's gonna be a bad time for you. But it's gonna be a good time for us Armor King players, as you can see. But of course the miss inputs are real. And I get counter hit 3. We're gonna go ahead and start building some momentum again. I want to keep the pressure because my rage is intact. I don't want him to do anything crazy that's gonna make me die in 1 round, but I think I lose anyway this round. Can't block them all. That's all good. All good. So now we learned a little bit. Now we're gonna be a little bit more careful. So as you can see, we immediately back up, right? We back up, create our space, and then we damage with the back 1-2. It's a nice whiff punisher move, right? Go ahead for the down forward 2 to see if we can get a counter hit, but he's not too aggressive after the fact. I think he understands his frames a little bit, right? So, but he doesn't know you can actually punish just Armor King's down forward 1-2 if he doesn't use the extension, right? Going back over here, we're gonna understand a very important string that you actually need to recognize. That string right there, understand that when you see this initiation, that 1-1, low parry the low. It's gonna be a high, high, low. It's always high, high, low. You don't want to let Hwoarang players get away with that, right? Break the floor, get extra damage. And now we told the Hwoarang player, don't do that again because you can lose that much damage off of a low kick. And then that's how you kind of set your dominance in the match, right? That's how you set the tone in the match. And now you understand that I'm like, I know your string and you're not gonna get away with it, right? Can't block them all, and that's okay, because you know what? That gave me space, so thank you, right? Because I actually have great moves in this range. This is like Armor King's comfortable range. I can do a lot at this range. Don't let that, you know, don't underestimate that range. But that still gets me. I don't even know how that got me. I think I kind of sidestepped into it. So, but who cares? More distance between me. I still have the life lead. Now. Yeah, you don't, again, like I said, you don't underestimate that range, because yeah, goodbye. Because if you have an Armor King player that has someone that actually has kind of really got the technique of doing instant shining wizards, that happens. And that wasn't even a combo, that was a wall ender, and look how much damage. That was just ridiculous amounts of damage. So you didn't want to do that against Armor King. So at this point, again, I back up, he's immediately doing something. I go for a back 1-2, but I don't get as much damage as I want because he's in the air. But still, damage is damage, right? I'm a little bit more comfortable with him now because I realize his fundamentals isn't really up there, right? So I can do a down back 3. Risky move. I would recommend that you don't make that move a habit. Only use that with confidence, right? When you use that move of confidence, down back 3 here, you're +5, and that sets you up for a lot. You could do a giant swing from this. You could do other moves from this. You can do like a DDT, I believe, too. You can go for another low. You are in a nice position with this move, but again, it's launch punishable, and it could be reactable by certain players. I go for a while standing 4, safest option here, and he blocks it, so it's my turn to be like, all right, I'm good. Defense, play defense. Yeah, so as you can see, play defense. You're gonna get hit. It's gonna happen. But look what defense does, right? That's okay. And then playing more defense is gonna give us the opportunity to attack again. Going for a 2-1 as a punish, and then 2-1 again, that's a nice move to do. Only leaves you -1 on block. I think it's +7 on hit. Jails on block too. So if they try to do anything after that, they're gonna get hit with another 2-1 again. Now, important is in my other videos I've talked about the one jab, right? We're gonna see what I mean by that, the importance of the one jab and how that gives you space. Oh, what happened there? Oops. Okay, let's try that again. So you see how I backed up, created some distance, and I just got to do a quick jab? That leaves me +8. That's really nice frames. Again, every video I find that I do this, I'm gonna mention it because it's super, super important, right? But of course, that doesn't really lead me to anywhere more, so I'm gonna go ahead and kind of just back up. But we're gonna see the move that I like doing to create distance for myself, right? I do it, but he backs up already, but it's okay, it's fine, right? That's a pretty quick move. It's only 12 frames startup, quick recovery, you know, it's not really risking a lot. It's gonna happen, that stuff is gonna happen. Don't beat yourself up if you get counter hit. We're gonna go ahead and just, I threw a back one in there. The trade kind of worked out for me. I didn't do it on purpose as far as like I'm gonna get a trade that's in my benefit, so but it worked out, right? So take your trades. And then we're gonna see what defense does, guys. Just standing back. If you can keep up defense like this against a Hwoarang, the player that likes doing these kicks. See that? And then you can go in and initiate your attack, especially you have an Armor King like this. You can really set yourself apart from dealing with that pressure. Now understand that when Hwoarang's in range, I think he only has access to the rage drive that starts with the low kicks here. So understand that that move is more than likely going to be spent as soon as they get the opportunity. So go ahead, block the rest of the kicks. It's fine. You know, even though that you block the first kick, you eat the first kick, then you block the second hit, and then you're in full crouch as well. -7. Don't know why that's a thing. Just take it. Just take the block and just take the defense. Back up. But nice, right? If you know your opponent's gonna be that aggressive and it's gonna be like, oh, plus frames attack, use your rage art. You have a rage art, it's there for a reason, right? So at this point, don't be mad at yourself if you get rounds like this against a Hwoarang. Especially if they abuse that down 3-4. Nothing you can do. It's all good. Now what we're gonna do for this final round, right? This point, remember, final round, it's gonna be crucial. The first part of your match, of that final round, is really gonna set the momentum for you and your opponent, right? So in this case, I get hit, I immediately am on defense. Because I don't want any momentum build up. I don't want to be like, I still got full health. Because before you realize it, 3 health, you're at like your 3 hits, right? From a Hwoarang, especially if it's a counter hit. And that's already half your health gone. Now, remember, you could still be eating all of these kicks and mids, right? But if you just wait for that right opportunity, wait for that mistake, and your opponent's on -12, and you don't break a giant swing with the wall against you, that's gonna be a bad time for you, and I'm gonna immediately turn the tide in my favor again. We're gonna go in for a forward 4 for some frames, right? He's -2 and he's crouched. When your opponent is crouched like that, if you have moves that leave them in full crouch position, you have to understand that you actually limit a lot of their moves. Like, their moveset, they go from the full accessibility of a moveset. If you're a Hwoarang player, I don't know how many moves are in Hwoarang, but if it's over like 200, I would imagine. If you're in this position, Hwoarang players, your moveset has just immediately got from, I don't know, 100 plus to maybe about 8. Okay? Because you only have access to your while standing moves, which is like a while standing 4, and then maybe your launcher or something like that, which you don't want to do if you're minus. Your sidestepping options are a little bit risky. And it's just not a good position for you to be in if you're in full cross position, just like this, right? Just like this, right? So you have moves, then now I'm referring to players like Armor King, like myself. If you have moves that leave them in that position, that's really good. Even though it's not a big frame advantage, it is still an advantage because you're completely limiting their moveset now, right? Down forward one to check, I'm +1, but he blocks. Now I understand that not only he blocked the first attack, he also blocked the second attack. So now I'm gonna play defense again and be like, all right, he's on guard. But when you acknowledge the fact that your opponent's on guard, right, and you back away and you give that opponent your space, right? Because I'm like, all right, now he's gonna be prepared to do something, right? And especially if you practice your back dashes, guys. Practice your back dashes, please. Because you can create opportunities like this, especially a 4-2-1. If you have that finger on the trigger for a 4-2-1 as King and Armor King players, you can immediately turn a situation like this. Yes, sir. So, with that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and we're gonna quickly go into this the second match here, because again, I just want to show you guys that this wasn't like just a lucky win here. We're gonna use what we applied here, and I'm gonna be pretty brief about this because I believe we're already around like 16 minutes, 14 to 16 minutes in. So we're just gonna kind of breeze through it, and we're gonna see what happens here, right? So what did we talk about actually in the first round? We talked about creating distance, recognizing opportunities to your advantage, and letting your opponents make the same mistake. Now, I'm pretty sure he's already had this same setup so many times. And that's okay. That's a little bit of damage. That's fine. We go for a back one to see if we can get a counter hit. Nothing. Again, I'm going to be very brief. Now, that move is recognizable, right? You can actually recognize that move. So that's actually a 28 frame startup. So if you get your eyes trained for that you can react to that move. It's hard, but you could react to it. Get the wall break. Yeah. Okay, I guess I just made a combo video. That's all breakable, by the way, guys. That's not unavoidable. This stuff is gonna happen. What did we say though? What did we say? We just wait for the opportunity and let your opponent make the mistake. What's the mistake here? We're gonna find out. Not my mistake. Don't look at that. And I think that's it right there. So I tech roll to the foreground because I want his back against the wall, right? While standing to get some plus frames. He tried to do something. I don't know what you're doing, man. You're minus. 2-1. Now he's ducking. He's scared of throws. I immediately acknowledge that. I'm like, good. Now, again, range. Keeping your distance. Keep that 4-2-1 on the trigger. Yep. Yep. Okay. Good thing too is that even if you're -5, I'm +5, right? Sometimes your offense, again, Armor King players, you have throws for a reason, guys. Your offense in your punish, your plus frame advantage could be your throw. Yep. And goodbye.
KO. Round 3. Fight.
Now at this point he is 2-0. He's probably going to do really desperate stuff. He's going to really want to keep that advantage, so which is no advantage right now. Yeah, back 3-1, hoping that launches, but you don't break it. Nope. And what did we say? Recognize the string. That was the second time. The third time actually that he did that, right? That is the second time we low parried it. We understand that if you do that in neutral, that's not gonna be good for you. he's ducking again, so I acknowledge that, which is I go for a back one just in case. Happens again. I don't know how I got hit by that. So at this point, what do you do as a player with low health when you are an Armor King player, right? When you're at this point, it's and this is some great advice from JDCR, so I don't want to take credit for this. JDCR mentioned that at this point in time you can go ahead and go for throws, right? Because they're a lot more hard to guess. I want to keep at that because, like I said, I think JDCR explains it better. He's the more experienced player, and I would refer to his videos for more like an expert advice, right? But this is, again, just for genuine purposes, general purposes, excuse me. Now you see what happens? Perfect example here. Down forward 4 to create the space, back up. Good game. Alright. But that's it, guys. I hope y'all enjoyed this. I hope this was informative and knowledgeable. Hopefully you guys learned something from this. And on the next one too, I actually encounter another Asuka, and we're gonna actually talk about how to deal with her parry, right? If you ever wonder, like, why is it that every attack I do I cannot parry? Oh, sorry, Armor King. Why is it that every attack I do I get parried? We're gonna teach you how to deal with that, okay? But other than that, I hope y'all learned something from this. Stay tuned, and I appreciate y'all coming in and dropping by and, you know, taking some knowledge. All right, see you guys.